Okay, let's hit it up. It's time for another installment of Whaddya Buy? Let's go see what happened. I made a trip down south from here in northern Colorado to an amazing record store called, actually it's a bookstore too, called Black and Red. One of the best stores in the mountain regions. Always walk away with amazing finds, and particularly with vinyl, which I am insanely still passionate about. I'm going to share with you my vinyl purchases later on in the week. But for now, let's walk through some of the stuff that I snagged on CD. One is a CD that I kind of have misplaced. If you only saw my collection and how it is organized, I am completely unable. I cannot find this album, and I listen to it all the time. It is by a band called Sugarplastic from the LA power pop scene of the mid-late 90s. They released an album, sadly only one album, on Geffen. There's other stuff available out there that you need to find if you're into XTC. They are one of the best XTC-inspired bands that you will ever hear, guaranteed. This is the album that you want to find. There's other stuff out there. If you're going to begin with this, begin with the self-titled CD on Geffen by Sugarplastic. This is a promo and not the cover, though, however. That's why it only cost me $1. Another one from a very favorite band of mine called Rich Kids. This one, however, is called Burning Sounds. Rich Kids released one record called Ghost of Princes in Towers, and I think it was in 1980, produced by Mick Ronson, and it featured Glen Matlock from, you know who? The Sex Pistols. Glen Matlock just has his way about writing a pop hook, period. He wrote those songs in the Sex Pistols. Those melodies that we like chomp on continually and will to the day we die are as a result of Glen Matlock, who was ignominiously kicked out of the band. But he went on to form this great band, so our gain. The record is poorly produced, but I highly recommend you find Ghost. This, however, is for more completists. It compiles B-sides, demos, and BBC kind of sessions. Outstanding songs. I think there's 21 songs on this. I had this years ago, and again, misplaced it. I think we might have a recurring theme here. We'll see how it goes. This is the find that I'm really, really geeked about. I have not listened to this yet, but you know what? It has my unconditional love already. It is called Florida Funk, funk from the 45s of the Alligator State, and it features a whole bunch of tracks from 1968 to 1975 of wickedly obscure funk bands from Florida. Only Florida. Big fetish of mine, early 70s funk. So if you have any great finds in obscure bands and artists from this era, please let me know. Drop me a note inside the tribe, please. But this is just a really, really cool record. My guess is that probably no more than a couple thousand of this thing has been pressed up, and it's probably one of those records that's going to be a massive eBay record in about 5 years. So these things always turn out that way. The last one that I'll share with you is a compilation from a band from the 70s called Montrose, which is basically Ronnie Montrose, whose debut 1973 album, self-titled, called Montrose, You Need to Own. And it was just reissued by a German label called Rock Candy. It's pretty expensive. You can find a domestic one for about $10 here if you got it. The sound's kind of flat. But if you can splurge, find the Rock Candy version of it. No bonus tracks, though, on that. But it is the quintessential, archetypal, hard rock record, and I would argue that it is the best hard rock debut ever. Quote me on it. I will defend that. I really firmly believe that. It blew my mind when I came across it after seeing the band on Midnight Special here in the United States in, I think it was 1974, and I ran to the store and bought that record. This, however, is just a compilation on Warner Brothers of all their 70s output. It's a little flawed, but it has a lot of great tunes that appeared on subsequent records that were pretty weak, arguably, but still some amazing tracks and all of that. And the last thing I want to share with you real quickly is one vinyl. I'm cheating here. I said I was going to do that later on, but is something from here in Colorado, and it's called Rocky Mountain Low. It's a 2-album set that also features a CD of punk bands from the Colorado scene of the late 70s. And if you know me, and you'll get to know me here in the coming months, here in the tribe, this is me. I just lived and breathed this stuff as a kid in the 70s, and the reason why I had to own this record was just for the picture on the back cover. If you can see this right now, that was my life in the late 70s, going to clubs like that and seeing punk bands inside the clubs of Boston. That is what I lived. If you could only see the pictures of the hairstyles and the sunglasses and the t-shirts that they're wearing here, but every single one of these bands I've never heard of, and it's awesome. I mean, this is what I live for, and this is why we dig through bins and go to record stores, is to support the idea, the concept, the process of finding these kinds of records. So whatever you do, please share with us what you're finding on your trips in your local communities, or when you're hitting the road here this summer. Let us know what you're buying. Share it here. We want to know, what did you buy? So get into the tribe here and start letting us know what is rocking your world.